Desde las sombras de Palacio Nacional.
Down to the muddy trenches of politics. This is the pigsty, the pig pen of politics with Chema Concha Morano.
Greetings, inhabitants of this dump called Mexico. Welcome once again to the pigsty, the pig pen of politics. The only corner of the internet where we don't use perfume, because the stench of rot coming from the halls of power is stronger than any cologne. I am your not-so-humble host, Luis Berman, and today we bring you a dose of top-quality mud straight from the Senate. Pay attention because Senator Lily Tellez has given us 2 moments worth recognizing. First, she gave a slap in the face to a Morena legislator, and if it had been literal, she would have had to pick her teeth up off the floor. And then, just for a change, she served her favorite client, that scruffy lawmaker, a dose of truths just as sharp. Let's begin. It seems that in the Senate of the Republic, the sessions keep moving forward, things heat up, and the legislator's blood starts to boil. With good reason, by the way. Today's protagonist, the always direct and never subtle Lily Tellez, decided it was time to rattle the Morena caucus, and she really dropped one of those truths that burn more than habanero chili. Right on an open wound, the brand new Morena Senator Julieta Ramírez, that young hopeful who defends the transformation with the same faith a child believes in the 3 wise men, was left speechless. It turns out that Tellez, with that style she has for dropping truths like fragmentation grenades, reminded her of a small administrative detail. The United States thanked her and revoked her visa. What a tragedy, gentlemen. Imagine the pain of not being able to cross into the Yankee Empire to buy her brand-name clothes, then coming here to discuss Republican austerity. It's truly, truly moving. While the base of your party can barely afford the bus fare, Julieta gets her permission to set foot in Mickey Mouse land revoked. I wonder why that is. Maybe up north they've realized the Morenista party's supposed purity has stains that even bleach can't remove. But it didn't stop there. As if that wasn't enough, Senator Tellez rubbed even more salt in the wound by asking about the legislative Cinderella. Where is Enrique Insunza? As if the visa issue wasn't bad enough. To leave Ramírez gasping for air, Lily Tellez dropped the million-dollar question, the one that has more than one person in the cabinet sweating bullets. Where the hell is the narco-senator Enrique Insunza? Yes, that same one, the brilliant legislator who is now, let's say, on a deep and secret exploration mission, or what most people call a fugitive. It's fascinating to see how in the so-called fourth transformation, officials have this strange ability to disappear as soon as the law starts asking a few questions. It's like a magic trick, but with impunity instead of rabbits. Step 1, you're accused of uncomfortable connections. Step 2, you claim to be the victim of political persecution. And Step 3, you vanish into thin air, faster than a campaign promise. It's pathetic, it's pitiful to see Julieta Ramírez trying to defend the indefensible. There she was, trying to keep her composure while they rubbed it in her face, that her fellow party member is basically a ghost with an arrest warrant. The irony speaks for itself. A party that never stops talking about honesty has its members losing visas for mysterious reasons and others running away through the sewers. To avoid being held accountable, Senator Tellez shut her up, and not with high-level diplomatic arguments, but with the harshest reality. Here in the pigsty, we know it well. You can have all the speeches in the world, but when they take away your right to go to Disneyland and your colleague is hiding in a basement, that Morena pride looks a little faded, don't you think? Enjoy a snippet of what happened here on my muddy monitor.
Didn't you come today, Senator, to defend your friend Insunza? Answer, Senator from Baja California, where is Insunza? He used to sit there so calmly because he knew he was protected by you, mafiosos. Where is he? Where is Marina del Pilar's visa? Because you keep defending and working for Marina del Pilar, the governor of Baja California? who also got to the governorship through dirty money. They know it in the United States, and that's why her visa was revoked. Are you all a disgrace? I get invited to the United States to give lectures and interviews to explain the narco pact, while the law is after you for being involved with drug traffickers.
What's next for our honorable representatives? Are we going to see Julieta trying to cross the Rio Grande to go to Target? Will Nsunza show up saying he was on a spiritual retreat in a cave with no cell signal? What we saw in the Senate was a wrestling show, but without masks, because these Morena parasites have cynicism tattooed on their souls. Lily Tellez went off to shout to the four winds and to the cameras, which is what really matters, that we're living in a narco-state. The most delightful part of her speech, filled with that sarcasm that only a few of us can handle, was her celebration. She said it made her sad that justice has to come from abroad. Tellez celebrates that they're watching us closely from the north. And of course, someone has to come and bring order to this mess called Mexico, where everyone does whatever they want. On the other side, we have that grotesque figure, the evil Dr. Filth, Gerardo Fernandez Noroña, the man who has made inconsistency a way of life, and from the seat, a platform for rudeness that was no better. With that calmness of someone who feels touched by the hand of history, or at least by that of the jackass, the man from Macuspana came out to hand out labels of treason to the homeland to Noroña, always as subtle as a bull in a china shop. He accused the opposition of calling on foreign agents. Good Lord, now it turns out that asking for the law to be enforced is like inviting the Marines to land in Veracruz. According to Gerardo's logic, if you point out that the ship is sinking, you're the one who made the hole. It's the old reliable trick from the Loyalist's Handbook. If something goes wrong, it's the past's fault. If someone complains, they're a traitor. If reality gives you a bit of a slap, say it's a slander from the conservatives. Here's a bit of what happened in the Senate.
It's the most serious case in Mexico's history, the most serious political and criminal case, unprecedented in the history of Mexico. And it should be clear, because this is evidence, that Sheinbaum's government is illegitimate, that López Obrador's government was illegitimate. None of them have legitimacy. None of those who are starting to shout have legitimacy because they're sitting there in those seats with dirty money, with blood money, and we decent Mexicans abhor that. They're the mobsters occupying these places. It's illegitimate and...
I ask you to listen to the speaker, and there will be time to respond at the podium. Justice begins.
Cheer up, dear Mexican families. We are going to kick these narco-politicians out of power.
The right-wing traitors to the country, like those from PRI and PAN, now intend, without a single piece of evidence at this moment, to go against the governor on leave, Rocha Moya, and the officials named by the United States Attorney's Office. They intend to keep insisting that our movement is linked to organized crime, when our movement has always fought against organized crime. We are going to pass on to you, not pose. 60% of the people reject the participation of foreign powers in extranjeras. Internal affairs of our country, no matter how much it bothers them and they don't understand it, in Mexico, the people of Mexico rule and no one else.
In this swamp, the truth is a currency that no one accepts anymore. It's a narco-state. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and has duck feathers, then we're not a chihuahua, right? Is it treason? Treason is keeping the country mired in fear, while the Morena mobsters protect criminals. What we saw today is confirmation that Mexican politics has already escalated to another level where the usual formalities no longer make sense because you have to speak harshly to beasts. Noroña likes homegrown muck because it's sovereign. The only certain thing in this total scandal is that this idiot looks for traitors even under the bed, while the country continues on its path toward disaster. And that's how we end this day of immersion in the organic waste of our national politics. Don't forget to wash your hands and ears thoroughly after listening to what these characters say. Don't forget, you might catch their cynicism. I'm going to leave now and see if I can find Insunza. Maybe he's hiding behind my desk, waiting for the storm to pass. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share this crappy video. I'm Luis Berman. See you next time. That is, if the country doesn't completely sink before then. Goodbye. This is La Pasilga, the pigsty of politics with Luis Berman.